10 a.m. meeting of August 6, 2024. At this time, please silence all electronic devices. And please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
O merciful Creator, your hand is open wide to satisfy the needs of every living creature. Make us thankful for your loving providence and grant that we, remembering the account that we must one day give, may be faithful stewards of your good gifts. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so instead of going by what my words say, I won't say Madam Clerk, I'll say Mr. Clerk. Would you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. District 2, Commissioner Wegman.
Present.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey.
Here.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Here.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Here.
District 1, Chairman Oakley.
Here. Let it be known we have a quorum present. Now's the time for public comment. Citizens were given an opportunity to comment on any current or future agenda item going before the board and other business under the board's purview. Today's public comment will be handled as follows. First, we will take public comment for those folks that are on here in person. Then we will take comment from those who are pre-registered for WebEx and are currently on queue. We request that when you address the board, comments are directed not personally toward a commissioner or team member, but rather at the issues. This provides mutual respect between board members and the public. After stating your name and address for the clerk, a 3-minute timer will be activated. After 2 minutes, a single beep will notify you that you have 1 minute left. When your time is up, 2 beeps will sound, and we ask that you close your comments at that time. WebEx participants will be disconnected automatically when their time is up. Mr. Clerk, do we have someone signed up for public comment?
I believe we do not have anyone in the room signed up, but we do have online participants.
Okay. Is there anyone in the room that did not sign up wish to speak at this time for public comment? If you do, you just come forward. Don't see anyone coming forward. All right, we'll move on to our WebEx.
John Morrow.
Mr. Morrow, please state your name and address.
John Morrow. Lynn or Vance Anderson.
Please state your name and address.
I believe that's Mr. Morrow trying to come up right now with that number. Mr. Morrow, you're muted.
No sound.
We're not hearing you at this point. Let us check the level. Okay, Mr. Morrow, we're hearing you now. Please proceed.
Okay, it took me a second on mute. Sorry. My name is John Marrow. I live at 4621 Road Drive in Newport Richey. I'd like to thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to address each of you. And I'm very excited about the land that you acquired on Grand Avenue for the homeless. The reason I'm excited is my business partners and I have a passion for not only helping the homeless, the transitional folks, but also the folks we can educate back into society and home ownership. We believe that the issue at hand is bigger than just homeless and unsheltered. It's about education and giving people a hand up, not a hand out. We're currently working with municipalities to eradicate this issue globally, and we believe this is more than just building a few rapid response shelters. We believe by building a community fully equipped with a community center and 3-phase housing that in 10 years, when we are done, things will look very different than they do today. We'd love to work with Pasco in solving this issue that has been going on for way too long. And yeah, that's it. Just thanks for your time, and please instruct me on how to do that.
Thank you, sir. Lynn or Vance Anderson? We're not seeing them online at this time.
Is that the only people left?
Yes, that's the only ones signed up.
Okay. Seeing no one coming forward on the WebEx, we will close public comment. We'll move on to our resolution. Mr. Clerk, would you please read the first resolution?
Yes, sir. Resolution number 24-156, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, recognizing Suzanne Winkowski for 30 years of dedicated service to the Pasco Economic Development Council. Whereas Suzanne Winkowski has been devoted to the Pasco Economic Development Council and its mission and vision for 30 years, demonstrating unwavering commitment and dedication to enhancing the professional landscape of Pasco County since beginning her career with them in 1994. And whereas over 3 decades, Suzanne has supported programs such as investor relations, office management, budget, finance, and has played a pivotal role in the planning and execution of all major events for Pasco EDC, including the annual awards, NetFest, the Holiday Social, and many others. And whereas Suzanne has been the office go-to for all questions and keeps meticulous historical information, documentation, record keeping, and has served as a mentor to many team members over the years. And whereas since 1996, Pasco EDC has assisted companies through business expansions and relocations, resulting in nearly $3 billion in capital investment and over 21,000 new jobs in Pasco County. And whereas in 1980, Suzanne studied at Taylor Business Institute in New Jersey, during which time she worked for an eye surgeon, Dr. John Norris, as he was developing cataract surgery with Dr. James B. Gills. And whereas prior to joining the Pasco EDC, Suzanne worked for for St. Leo University as a public affairs coordinator, where she completed her business coursework in 1993. And whereas Suzanne has been with her high school sweetheart, John Winkowski, since 1975, and will be celebrating 43 years of marriage together in September of this year. They have a son named Michael, a daughter named Lisa, and a grandson named Elliot. Suzanne and John enjoy spending time traveling and with family and friends. And whereas Suzanne's commitment to the betterment of Pasco County throughout her extensive career has not only bolstered economic development in Pasco County, but has been an inspiration to many and has shown true passion for her community. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby recognizes Suzanne Winkowski for her unwavering commitment to the positive economic growth of Pasco County by serving the Pasco Economic Development Council for the past 30 years. Done and resolved in regular session with the quorum present and voting the 6th day of August, 2024.
Move approval.
Second.
There's a motion and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed 5-0. Welcome.
Thank you. I truly, truly appreciate that. I can't believe how time has flown by, and I'm really not that old, I don't think. Started very young.
Well, you're like some other people that are retiring. I think they still have a lot of time and effort to give for this county, and appreciate all that you've done, but we welcome you to stay on. So.
Few more years yet. Thank you.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
You've been there 30 years.
It's not a
You've got 30
retirement
years, but it's not a
ceremony.
retirement. I just wasn't clear about that yet. So we're celebrating quite a career.
Yeah, that is great. All right, Bill.
Mr. Chairman and Commission, thank you again for joining us and recognizing Suzanne. 3 decades
Yeah.
is something you don't hear about anywhere these days. And
We love her, and we're so happy that you guys are with us to celebrate those accomplishments. But she is the go-to in our office, not just from an office manager standpoint. There were 2 employees when she started, and we're up to 13 now. I mean, so you know it's not easy, but she keeps us straight. She keeps me straight, which you know is a big, difficult job. And she's a friend to the people in our organization too. So thank you again for recognizing her and sharing the love.
Mr. Waitman?
Thank you, Chair. You know, I first heard about it just with all the retirements we've had coming down the pipeline recently. I thought, oh, Suzanne, she said, I'm not retiring. I'm not retiring. And I was like, oh, fantastic. You know, great. We're just getting to honor and recognize you for your 30 years of service. And like Bill said, people don't stay around in a workplace that long. So congratulations. We're glad you're with us and glad that you're going to keep hanging out for a little bit longer.
Ms. Starkey?
Same, I think, I don't think I could count how many emails I have with your name on it. And it was Suzanne and I who worked on the party at 4G Ranch. That's now a big deal for the PEDC and the county. So Suzanne, I'm glad you're not leaving. I'm sure they'd be devastated. But congratulations on such a long career. My hat's off to you for staying in one place for so long. I've never done that. This is the longest job I've ever had.
Ms. Yeager?
Well, congratulations on 30 years and also on 43 years of marriage. Both are huge accomplishments. And thank you for staying around and making Pasco amazing.
Okay. Ms. Mariano?
Suzanne, I can't believe it's been so long.
I know.
And from what you've always been that, as they say, the go-to person every step of the way. And Bill, it makes your job and your team's job a lot easier when you got someone like her in that position, just taking care of things and making sure the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and that helps quite a bit. But I'm glad you're staying. It's so cool that everybody was worried about the same thing I was. Is she retiring? So that's a testament how great you are and what you do. So we greatly appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, certainly thank you for all the time you spend here with the county. We're better because of people like yourself that spend that kind of time with the county. So it keeps us moving and keeps us closer to being premier. So I was with my company 51 years before I stepped away. I've been here on my 8th year. So you got plenty of time left. So
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
we thank you for everything. Do you have family members here with you too today, or?
Staff and my husband is here.
All right. Have him come forward too. He can come up. Well, we'll come down and take pictures, and they're welcome to join us in those pictures.
One day soon I'll have some, but it won't look like this. We're working on it.
Everybody right here first, please.
Okay, we have no more resolutions for this morning, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. I have a pull sheet with C10, withdrawal, C24, withdrawal, C13, pull and revise, C27, pull and revise. C28, pull and revise. Has the board got any other items they wish to pull?
Is that pull on there? What number was that? Pull 45, please.
Okay. All right, C45. All right, I entertain a motion for the rest of the items left on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passed 5-0. Now C10 has been withdrawn. C24 is withdrawn. C13, pull and revise. Yes, sir.
Morning, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. Eric Breitenbach, Assistant County Administrator for Internal Services. C13 is a task order for pre-construction services for the Nottingham Public Works Facility. Because it's pre-construction services, bonds are not needed, and so the revision is to eliminate the last sentence of the recommended board action. And with that, I'd ask the board approve with the recommended change.
Okay, entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Move on to C27. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mr. Chairman, Alex Parnes, County Surveyor. C27 and C28 are also my team and mine. These are here for a recommendation for pull and revise unfortunate clerical errors. And so we want to make sure that we don't hinder the process when things are outside of our normal flow of our procedures. All of the papers have been revised and they're all here and already been delivered this morning. This is why we recommend a pull and revise, and they should be good to go.
Okay, I entertain a motion for C27.
Move approval, C27.
Got a motion?
Second?
A second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Now I entertain a motion for C28.
Yes, C28 is the same situation. I call them unfortunate inadvertent clerical errors. And so all of the documents have been corrected. They are here. There's no hindrance on the schedule. We recommend pull and revise.
Okay. Entertain a
I just
motion.
have one question,
Okay, question?
and let me see if I can answer it myself. Here, it says, what is the Suncoast multi-owner? What is that?
Sorry, I'm not familiar with
Does
the
anyone know what
Suncoast
that is?
Multi-Owner LLC. Oh,
Is the developer.
that is the
property
developer
owner.
company. Yes.
Okay, that's not familiar with that. All right, I move to approve.
Sorry.
Got a motion and second?
I didn't hear a second.
I didn't hear a second.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0. Move on to Mr. Mariano's item C45.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to have Mr. Thomas come in and give us a presentation on this.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners. Adam Thomas, Tourism Director, Pasco County. C45 is a request to amend the restated ground lease agreement at the Wiregrass Ranch Sports Campus of Pasco County. The hotel ground lease for the Residence Inn Marriott Wesley Chapel. So before you today is a request to approve the ground lease and the amendment to increase the ground lease terms to 2,100. On WebEx with me today is Michael Berth. He is the Vice President of Peachtree Group, who is the new developer for the Sports Park Property Hotel.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Mariano?
Well, when we put this lease together, it was very favorable terms. I had some people in the marketplace that had done funding on their own, financing on their own, and they thought it was a really strong deal, wondered why we would have done it just the way we did it. And we did it the proper way, but the terms were very favorable. This extension all the way through is a very generous extension. And I had trouble with it, even though we've got some provisions coming and they're going to help us with accelerations for increasing the rates as things will dictate. But one of the questions I asked Adam is, what is the average daily occupancy rate? And Alan, what was the number?
Currently, as it sits right now for the year 2023, it's at 58.8% in occupancy, and their competitive set right now is at 74%. So what we're doing in terms of the ground lease to help offset the average daily rate is to help out with the ground lease agreement at $40,000 a year. Currently, it's at $25,000 a year. We're going to 40 next year with some escalators built in every 5 years, depending on market studies, at 3 to 6%. So currently, as it sits right now, the ADR is at around $189.
Don't use acronyms, just so.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Average daily rate. My apology. Average daily rate is around $189 for the year. So when these events come in, we are seeing leakage over to Hillsborough County because of the rates being too high. So we negotiated the terms on the ground lease to help offset the rate to help bolster occupancy, therefore generating additional revenue per available room for not only the hotel but also for the county.
So let me ask Michael a question. Michael, I know with apartments in the area, they go through and they look at all sorts of numbers to what's in the marketplace, how they set their rates to probably maximize profit more than anything else. With your rate so low at 58%, and I've talked to other hoteliers years ago, they were like 90, 95% occupancy in the Wesley Chapel area, which is why I think so many hotels came in. You're at 58%, it's such a low number. I want to try to work with you on this, but I need to find some way that we can get that number up higher. And I'm not even satisfied with 74%. I think the number should get higher. This is an ideal piece of property. I want to see it filled because this is an asset that we've got. It should be different than a hotel. We should be shooting close to 100%. But I want to know how you can, how you set your numbers up to get to only 58% when the market is 74%.
Today. So for context, sir, we've owned the asset now for a week and a half. So the current operating figures are not based off of our operations, but off of the previous ownership. This is part of our business plan in our underwriting is right-sizing this occupancy comparatively to the competitive set. There's clearly a difference in average daily rate with the comp set versus our own. And listen, ultimately, to your exact point, it's a premium location, it's a premium property. For context, we own and operate 85 hotels across 28 states, over 11,000 rooms. We've invested $10 billion in the hospitality industry over the last 15 years. We have our own captive management company. We work with our management company as well as the brands, in this case Marriott, on revenue management, specifically to maximize both occupancy, average daily rate, and revenue per available room to ultimately make sure that we are running the property as efficiently as possible. On average, a resident in should outperform its given competitive set of hotels. And there's no reason, again, based off of the product, based off of the location, next to such a strong demand scenario where sports rated. There's no reason the property should be performing as it was currently under the previous ownership. And again, our idea at the asset, based on our experience with the product type within the Tampa area, is to actually, this is somewhat counterintuitive to how we typically underwrite a deal, but it's a lower rate considerably in year one in order to drive occupancy and right size our revenue per available room.
Correct.
Mr. Byrne, if this, Commissioner Oakley, I am interested, you have the actual number, average room rates in that area, I would assume, and your target is going to be try to match that so you can increase your room stays and percentages. So this right now is just a guesstimate, but you think this possibly the change of that room rate would move it on up to 80 or 85% possibly?
Well, so typically in hospitality, there's a bit of a tipping point with regards to occupancy. The goal is ultimately not to run 100% occupancy unless, those last couple rooms are charging somewhat of a premium from a rate perspective. So the sweet spot for this type of asset is probably given the competitive set that I'm looking at. I'm looking at the competitive set right now, I've got June data pulled up. So our competitive set for the trailing 12 months ending June 2024, the competitive set is running 73.4%, and we're running right at 65%. So if you look at the recent trends in the property, the previous management, and again, these June numbers represent the previous ownership. We closed on July 23rd. So we are still very much getting our feet wet, so to speak, at the property level. But the previous management was already starting to employ this strategy. There was a considerable increase year to date in occupancy comparatively. So if we're looking at the numbers, the property in the year to date period is up 20% in occupancy. At just a 1% bump in rate. So they were starting to understand where the trends in the market were settling, and it already starts to somewhat employ our own business plan as we go forward. So again, our goal is not to run 100% occupancy. It's impossible in a market like this, and most markets are kind of outside of Manhattan or proximate to a very busy airport. The idea here is to find that sweet spot and maximize those occupancy, as well as average daily rate to make sure that we are running the property as efficiently as possible. We're ultimately fiduciaries to our investors as well. We want to be good stewards to Pasco County, to Wiregrass. We're incredibly thrilled to be owning and operating this asset. We see the potential. We're excited about the expansion of the fields and for hopefully subsequent expansions of the facility.
Mr. Chairman?
Thank you for the answer. Yes, sir. Mr.
So,
Mariano.
and I appreciate that. I understand it's a business. You're trying to make money as much as you can. But we have a responsibility to our investors, the citizens of Pasco County. So we invested in this property to try to get it to a high occupancy rate. And I think the deal that we cut before, and maybe we should have more specifics to it, we should be shooting for a higher number. And I know from years' experience talking to the people that were running these things in Wesley Chapel in this area, without even being on premises, they were running close to 90%, some 95% occupancy. I'm not even looking for that number. But what I'm looking for is I want to get as many people in those rooms as reasonably possible so that, number one, they're not commuting from Hillsborough coming up here, spending money in Hillsborough coming up here, clouding up our roads any more than up here. I want that thing as full as it possibly be. I don't mind giving a sweetheart deal in a sense, but I want something in return to show at least I'm going to generate more tourist tax money by having more people in there. I'm going to have a bigger economic impact by having more people in there. So as much as your sweet spot for your investors, I don't think it's going to align with our sweet spot with our investors.
Well, what number do you think is ours?
I think at least 80%, 85% we should be able to get in contract. And if a market thing happens like a COVID or hurricane, I'm willing to adjust from those numbers. But on a regular market event, I think we should be looking to get that number. It's a reduced rate that they have this property at. It's at a prime location with the thing. And by the way, we still need to do more because we still got to go build a garage out there. The parking out there in the big events, you guys have been out there, it's crowded as heck. We need to do some, so we need a partner in there too to work on getting a parking garage, whether it be extra revenue or you partner with us. Something's got to happen out there the way it's set up as well.
From an occupancy perspective, our interests are completely aligned. We're trying to drive as many people to that hotel as possible. The last thing that we want to do is see leakage into Hillsborough County or anywhere else. Our incentives are completely aligned. Based off of the current occupancy in that market, I think looking today, getting to 80%, 85%, I think is going to be difficult. It should, as things continue to improve, our interests are completely aligned. We don't want to see any leakage to any of the surrounding counties. We area as possible.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you just because, as you say, your sweet spot, you're trying to maximize your profitability for your investors. We're trying to maximize it to the best economic benefit for Pasco County. That means more people, more heads and beds in that location. They're spending money in our area. They're off our roads as well, which frees up congestion as well. So ours are going to be different, and that's okay. But with this deal that you're looking to get from us, I want to get a number to where we can go for as far as a higher occupancy rate than even just the regular market rate. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, Adam?
So Commissioner, you're 100% right. We want to fill capacity and fill occupancy at that venue specifically because of the investment that you all made into that sports park property. We're doing that on the event side and the structure of our events. We are at 92 events last year. We're at 118 events this year. We're driving demand. We're already getting people. We're getting our hotels filled. We're getting our teams here. Our hotels aren't being filled because there is leakage over into Hillsborough County because of the rate. So this deal is helping to subsidize some of that rate and with hopes to boost that occupancy. So we are getting the traction here. We are getting the teams here on an annual basis, and we're seeing an increase in events. Our goal was to have 80% of the calendar filled at the sports campus. We're at 87% in climbing. So we are getting the teams here, we are getting the traction here, we are getting the demand here. We're just not getting them into the hotels because of the rates structure.
And exactly, so the rate structure, they've got to bring their rates down to get more people in there because they're a competitive market. So just like you're saying, you're doing a phenomenal job. You can sway your whole team, bringing people in there like this is supposed to do, like we're designed to do. Right now, these guys are taking over. Granted, the other guy before, they're a new guy. But the numbers, again, for the market, to what's out there, and I don't know how broad-based the 73% is as far as what the market is. I'm just saying, knowing the high percentage in Wesley Chapel, what these hotels were, that we should be striving for those numbers. And with what you're doing driving in there, everybody's going to want to stay in there if they can afford it. But if they price it too high, they're not going to. That's why I say that sweet spot, it's different from our alignment. They want to maximize the revenue. I get that. But that doesn't align with us. We need to get more heads and beds. And the more people stay in there, that's less traffic all around.
I think you're going to find out this year with Adam and his team, what they're doing and the events they've got coming in. You're going to see an increase in that hotel without any changes that are going to push that numbers up. And I think with these changes, we'll be confident they'll push those numbers up. And we got more events coming, so those numbers are going to be up because there's not going to be any lag time from doing a lesser number of events last year to a higher number this year. That's going to push that occupancy higher. So, Ms. Starkey.
Mr. Mariano, I mean, they're in the business to make money. Why wouldn't they be setting hotel rates that would fill their hotel? So I'm confused because obviously they want to fill their hotel up.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So, like I said, they are in the business of making money. We're in the business to maximize our tourist development dollars investment. We benefit more when more people are in there.
So do they?
Hang on. They benefit more when they maximize revenue by keeping a higher price. Their higher price is what's keeping the room rate down. I'm trying to get it to where we're going to get to a higher number. And if other people in the Wesley Chapel market, which I'd love to look at that study, if those numbers, if they're higher, like 80, 85%, we should be looking to that number. So maybe there's a way to tie it into the market in the Wesley Chapel area.
I think we're looking at that number. So.
And maybe this is not done in contracts, and I understand they have a deadline. I mean, they're under pressure for their financing.
Right.
And I think David Goldstein they've worked on this, but is it possible to say that the room rate must be competitive within X amount of dollars within a certain geographic area?
I'm gonna have to defer to Michael on that one because that'll affect his business and bottom line. So I'll defer to Michael online.
Yeah, and listen, I think ultimately what we're talking about, our interests are very much aligned. We're professional hotel operators. We utilize revenue management through our own channels, through the brand. Again, we've been in this asset for 10 to days. We are already right-sizing the operations. I think that ultimately, again, our interests are very much aligned. We want to maximize occupancy at this hotel. We're not going to do it at to the detriment of, of the business. If rate in a given week is X, we're not going to charge 2X. We're going to charge what the market will bear, in order to maximize our occupancy in this hotel. I mean, again, this is our business. This is our, we've got a full operating platform. We've been operating hotels for 15 years. We've operated this exact product type in very similar markets across the country. This is our core competency, and we feel like we're pretty good at this. We've been doing it a long time. We've made investments all over the place, and when we invest in a given market, we're not just there to maximize our profit. Like, ultimately, our interest, both from a Pasco County perspective and from a Peachtree perspective, are maximized when they're aligned. And we want to be good stewards of the asset. We want to be good stewards of the wider development, and we want to be good stewards of the county, because ultimately that's going to help us maximize our business. And obviously the ability to fill rooms is at the crux of all that.
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chair. In the contract, is there a change in law clause in there? If we see something shift in the market, do we have the ability to capture the increase that Commissioner Mariano says a year or two, 12, 24 months from now?
No, sir.
So it's a 5-year term, right?
It's a 25-year amendment to the ground lease with options, 3 additional options for 10-year renewals. So it takes it into 2100, but there are extensions that can go to 2070 if need be.
So there's no opportunity to do every 12, 24 months, say, a rate review, working with
Every
Michael
5 years,
and
yes,
you
sir.
guys every 5 years? Well, Michael, would you be opposed if we did a rate review in every 12 months to make sure that the board's somewhat concerned there? I'm just looking to make a happy medium. Personally, I think it's a bit odd that the government's in the hotel business, but I digress on that point. But I think this thing needs to get across the finish line, and unless you guys go to work, but I just want to make sure everybody's comfortable with this contract.
I feel like that every 12 months is a little too soon for a
What about
business
3
that's
years?
operating like this, so.
What about 3 years?
I'm just throwing something, I'm not going to say I understand the hotel business. I'm just throwing something out there.
Again, I'll have to defer to Michael on that.
Okay.
So we've worked in tandem with the tourism board, with the county attorney's office over the last 4 months to craft this agreement. I think if the goal here is to maximize occupancy of the asset at the expense of rate, to make sure, again, that the property or the competitive set in general is not overcharging, I think if we're looking at a 12-month reset, that directly leads to potential increases in the ancillary rate. Again, ultimately, that lease payment is to the commissioner's point, that lease payment is part of our profit and loss statement. And ultimately, if that lease payment becomes overly onerous at the current rate structure, rates inherently will have to rise. I think the way that we've structured it specifically, I mean, again, going back to our first conversation with David Goldstein, with Adam, with Consuelo, it was centered around the sensitivities of average daily rate at this property with the kind of mindfulness to make sure that we're not, creating some onerous rent structure that ultimately will lead to us, necessitating us to have to increase rates at an accelerated rate to cover those rent payments.
Mr. Chairman?
That was the whole genesis of the amended and restated lease, based off of that exact point that the Commissioner brought up.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Mariano.
So, Michael, I'd tell you, I wish this had come before us, one-on-one interviews, to kind of look at this thing ahead of time, especially where we just had a contract we had to end because it was a bad contract for us. It cost us a bunch of money. So before I go to another contract, extended and all out, I want to make sure we're in good terms. Have you looked at what is your opinion as far as the market? And I'm not sure if I'm going to get a good answer or not from you, but as far as the price that we're charging you, how does that coordinate with the market as far as the balance out there compared to your other properties?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely commensurate, again, with the ground rent. I mean, and I'll be honest with you, we typically shy away from leasehold assets because of onerous lease payments. I mean, we've done a significant amount of diligence. We paid a very aggressive price on this asset based off our belief in the long-term viability of the property, of the expansion of Wiregrass Ranch, of the growth of the Wesley Chapel and Pasco area, Pasco County areas at large. We've studied extensively through third parties, through our own research, the macroeconomic trends in the market. This is an asset that we have a significant amount of conviction in. That, if we're talking a $500,000 lease payment, that obviously changes the profitability and the viability of the asset. I think in general, when you're talking about just on a pure marketability basis, the market looks at leasehold fairly differently than it does fee simple, as do we internally. And I think this is a down the middle of the road lease. It's obviously with a government authority. Those are the type of leaseholds that we feel comfortable with because of that. It's not privately held. You're not dealing with 12-month rent escalations. That starts to become a snowball rolling downhill. And again, the payments become onerous, and it's got to come. You've got to figure out a way to cover it at some point when those numbers do become large, and it's not through occupancy. Unfortunately, it's through rate. I think again, looking at the economics of the lease, looking at the economics of the extensions that we're requesting, we've mirrored the current economics and accelerators of the extension. We think they're fair. And we think they're equitable to all parties. Again, the idea here is to create a partnership going forward. We work very closely with the tourism board. We're excited for the prospects of the ownership of this asset and the growth of the market.
Well, I'll say, Commissioner Waitman, I think you bring up a good thing. I'd like to take a look at it. It doesn't have to be every year. I'm okay even with 3 years to take a look at it again to see how we're doing before we go on. I think, I respect what you're trying to do. The Marriott brand is a great brand to have as well. So I'm all for that. I just want to make sure that we take care of the investment we've made as well. Because we've got to go out there. I don't know if you thought about this, but I think the parking's an issue out there. We still got to deal with that issue. And if we have enough revenue, we can actually offset some of that. But I want to make sure this deal works for us, and I don't want to be locked in. Again, giving you guys an extra 25 years and 5 years on top of that, that's a long way to go without being able to claw back to say, okay, we don't like what you're doing, because if your numbers still stay at the low numbers, or even if they're at the market numbers, we still may want more and could expect more with the premium of the asset, depending how great a job Adam's doing with his team.
Adam.
The parking issue and concerns, we share the same concerns. The hotel shares the same concerns. Everyone at the sports campus shares the same concerns. Even our events owners share the same concerns in terms of parking, because now you're dealing with the visitor experience, right? So that is going to be identified in the invitation to negotiate that's currently closed out. So hopefully the said bidders on the invitation to negotiate will actually come with a plan to handle the parking.
Ms. Starkey?
Just looking at your photos online, and I don't think these are stock photos, but I'd love to have the opportunity to talk to you about putting some very tasteful photos of assets in Pasco County in your hotel. So maybe Adam and I can meet with you and help market some of the fun places to go see and activities to do in the county.
We would welcome that opportunity.
All right, so with that, I'm going to move it for approval.
Second.
With the change to three years from 5 years.
Okay.
Do what now?
We did a change to look at the rates in 3 years versus 5 years.
Okay, I have a motion and a second.
Second.
Is this a, is it a roll call vote or just
No, it's a regular
normal vote?
Normal vote.
Normal vote, okay.
Clarification, I believe there was a second from Commissioner Wakeman, and then you
Yes.
called for
Which
second
the-
from
I
the
Commissioner.
amendment
Well, I
change.
didn't call for the second, but she didn't hear Mr. Waitman, I don't believe.
No, I didn't, sorry.
Ms. Starkey had the motion and Mr. Waitman had the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, like sign. Okay, motion approved.
Thanks, Adam.
All right,
Thanks, Michael.
all right, that ends the,
Appreciate your time.
all right,
Thank
thank you. Now we'll move on to a regular agenda, and I have 2 items, but they're on a time certain, but we're ready to go. Bill? All right, we'll start with 50, R50.
Good morning again, and Commissioners, I'm really excited about the item that's following this one, so I'm going to go pretty rapidly. But before I even start, I just want to comment on the county's response to Debbie was wonderful. I think our emergency management team, our elected officials, fire department, sheriff's department continue to get better and better and better at this. And the calls on the EOC go really smooth. And as an economic developer, for people to see us meeting today, business as usual, sends a powerful message to companies that are looking to come to Florida because it continues to show our resiliency. So kudos to everybody in the room. It's my pleasure to present to you, the display's not working. Okay. So I guess I'm going to do charades here from the, pardon me? Did they have it in their packet? Should.
Okay.
What?
Do you have the presentation in your packets?
I don't.
Uh,
I didn't put that background in mine.
I don't think I have a presentation. This is on your R?
Yeah, R50.
I don't have a presentation. I can look online.
No, it's not in your agenda, electronic agenda.
Or can you email them? Are you able to open it if she emails you? Okay, I'll go ahead and get started while she's doing that. So first, normally, as I present our quarterly report for the Pasco EDC, and this would be for Q3 of year 2024, usually start out with our wins, our capital investment, and our jobs, and I'll be doing that again today, and we'll actually see that number increase by the end of the day today. Currently, we have 7 wins, and that's new projects locating to the area, 774 jobs, which is just about half of our goal right now. Awesome.
Okay.
Your magic. No more charades. And then $250 million of capital investment. We've already hit our goal for new capital investment. And again, that impacts the ad valorem tax, takes the pressure off our residents by having more of that ad valorem from commercial.
Bill, can you go back to that? Is that 14, is that annual? Or is that to date?
To date. To date.
So we want to have 14, but we have 7.
Yeah, so usually at the end of the year is when most of them come in. Like I said, you've got something coming up today as well, too, that number will continue to grow, and that is a goal. I think last year we finished around 12.
Okay.
And you'll be surprised or happy to see that the majority of them are still in advanced manufacturing, our leads in our pipeline. With all of the focus that we put on life sciences and IT and business professional services with our offices, advanced manufacturing is still coming through strong. So that's another one that has a bigger multiplier for us. Active leads right now, 127. Active projects, 130. You know we like to see the leads bigger than the projects, so that's actually a funnel. So it does make us a bit nervous when we have less leads than active projects, but to have 130 active projects is beyond normal. Usually we have about 35 to 40 projects, so we are busy. training programs and working with our existing business. We continue to go out, meet with companies. We had 18 company visits this last quarter, 74 to date. And that's where we get to go talk to the companies, find out what their obstacles are, look under the hood, see how we can help them. And lots of times it's workforce. Workforce is something that you all still hear on a regular basis of either people can't find good help or the right help. Even with 1,200 people moving to the state every day, workforce still continues to be one of our biggest priorities. And it's a good one because we get to keep those workers here regardless of the company stay or not. Telling the story, $2.3 million in earned media value over the quarter. That is where other people are telling our story. So again, we're kind of the hired help. When we tell the story, we can do lots of press releases, but when other people tell that story, that's even better yet for us. And the website keeps getting lots of views, almost 17,000 this last quarter. Most of them were looking at Smart Start, ready sites, and of course coming from states like California, New York, Virginia, Georgia, and Texas. Several of those states have the same thing in common, high tax, and they want to get the heck out of there. So we're getting their attention, and they're looking at us. Have about 12,000 followers on social media engagement. About over half of them are actually engaged and having conversations with us online. We'll never be at the same number of the sheriff as long as we don't have canines and dogs, but we're getting there, and it's important because this is our locals that are hitting this to find out what resources we have available. And then attending events and getting out and learning more about the business as well as networking with our peers. We've had 15 events and trade events, seminars and conferences, 11, presentations to local industry organizations and business groups, 6, and that's everything from NAIOP to SIOR to CREW, some of those large organizations that are our partners or multipliers. And then most recently in the quarter, we hosted a strategy session in concert with the county on June 13th. Ernst & Young, as you know, has been hired to do the Economic Development Strategic Plan with David Engel and his shop. We brought together several of our business leaders. 33 key stakeholders came together to provide input about the growth of our economy, the types of programs we need to be looking at, and they're represented by some well-known names that you all know: TECO Energy, Cullinar, Baycare, Duke, Commercial Asset Partners, Adura Group, and many more. So a success. They got lots of good feedback at the strategic planning session, and that's something that you're going to hear about again here in about 2 months. And stakeholders. So we're up to 92 investors. That's a private sector investors. Our biggest investor still is one, that's you guys, but 92 investors on the private sector, 483,000 private sector dollars raised, 6 new investors just in the third quarter alone. So that's where people appreciate what we do, they understand the growth of our economy, and we leverage private sector dollars to do things that other people can't do. Oops, before I go further, let me mention a couple upcoming events. Well, this happened because I think we were scheduled originally for last meeting. So July 24th, we had the Pasco County Industrial Update, well-attended, sellout crowd at the Hilton Garden Inn. And then September 5th is our 36th annual awards.
36. Wow.
36, yeah. All these numbers are getting bigger. And that is going to be at the Instructional Performing Arts Center, the PHSC IPAC as we call, in Wesley Chapel. We still have tickets available and sponsorship opportunities. So I'll go in real quickly, also segue into the Penny for Pasco agreement. Ready Sites. This is the program that we put a lot of money into, and it's been 5 solid years of building that up to get the sites that we have, over 2,000 acres of sites, and we've had a couple of them off the market already. Amazon up on 52. We also celebrated Paducah and Zephyr Hills earlier this year in October, and little foreshadowing, probably a little announcement following this about another ready site. You can see that we have another one that has come online, personally, one of our best sites in the county, and that's at Double Branch at 52 and I-75, very strategically located. You all approved over 3 million square feet of industrial entitlements there. That's huge for the communities in East Pasco, but also our drive-to market. That will be a super park, meaning that they're actually selling pieces of that to bring in more than just 1 or 2 big companies. One of our ready sites was chosen as a finalist, and again, you'll hear more about that on the next item. And then we've had visits, people kicking dirt, going out and actually seeing the sites all throughout this summer. We've had 19 inquiries about the sites, 19 responses to RFPs. That's where site consultants ask us about what we have available for their projects, and we're able to include these sites into our responses to those proposals. And then presentations to consultants and developers, 17. That's the people that bring us the projects. And then 7 site visits, people actually getting in their car and visiting the site. We went out, marketed this internationally, so international program continues to grow. Select USA is the annual conference that the U.S. Department of Commerce and the Foreign Commercial Service through the embassies worldwide bring prospective investors, people looking to move their companies into the United States. They bring them to Washington each year. We exhibited as part of our Global Tampa Bay Consortium, and we had our own booth, which was busy every single minute. Really good response, and it wasn't just because we had Tampa cigars in the booth. That was a really nice flavor because they've heard what is continuing to go on in our community, and to see us working together as a region really paid dividends. We hosted a regional familiarization tour from Germany, somebody that was looking to bring more companies here, and we've schooled them up on all the things that we have in the area. And then we've got a trade mission coming September 9th through the 12th, and that is to Vancouver, British Columbia. We've got some Pasco companies going. Commissioner Starkey is going representing Pasco. We also have commissioners from Hillsborough and Pinellas, and mayors from each of the counties as well.
And I almost had a new company, they're very interested, but they're already in Europe that day, but I'm anxious for you to meet them. They're doing international business in blood spattering.
Oh, well,
It's
I
kind
think
of a
we'll get them
spin-off
with
from the sheriff's
First.
office.
Yes, yes.
Huh?
We'll get them together with First and
Yeah,
on
no,
this-
they came from the sheriff's office.
Okay.
They just left there and went off on their own, and they've got some global business going on.
We'll call it Project Dexter. I don't know if that's.
Don't tell anybody.
Sorry. So we continue to work with those companies to take them abroad. 43 counseling sessions over the quarter. Trade missions, you got a little asterisk next to it. That is the one goal we have for the year. Will be in September at the end of the fiscal year. And then we've had 6 trade-related events and enhanced marketing. So that's telling over and above the story, especially as it relates to the penny. We marketed ready sites at most of these, SIOR, bio conference that was attended in San Diego, and we had 5 Smart Start testimonial video campaigns reaching over 164,000 people. I've got some cool stuff about Smart Start I'll tell you in just a second, but Workforce Connect had their Pasco 50, and the report in the discussion was about mitigating business risk and workforce trends. So here we are in that season where this was very timely. We had 18 annual existing industry visits, and the advisory team continues to meet to discuss what the needs of businesses are in using our Connect application on our website. Executive Success Program ended up part of the Building and Sites tour. They went around and saw all the assets we have so that they can tell our story as well. And then they celebrated with a graduation with graduates from Advent Health, Greater Zephyrhills Chamber, SKF Development, St. John's Partners, and South Lake Signs of Tampa. So if you see any of them in the streets, ask them about Pasco. They will tell you a lot about what they've learned. And then I hinted that Smart Start had something really cool. A couple things. One, we finished a course, a 9-week co-starters course called Co-Starters for Causes. And you might recall back on our annual conference last year, our annual awards event, I mentioned that we were going to actually train up our nonprofit community because they weren't able to scale as fast as our businesses to meet the growing demand of people moving in here. So we scholarshiped 10 companies to come through. 9 of them ended up going through the whole course and graduated with co-starters to learn how to run their nonprofit more like a business and to scale better as they meet the growing demand of service needs in Pasco County. Really proud of that one because that's not necessarily our bread and butter, but we depend on those service providers here in our community because it's about the whole community. We're looking for sponsors for next year to do a couple more cohorts like that. We're looking to do 10 at a time of our nonprofits in the community. We had some workshops on AI, and we actually attended SOF Week, Special Operations Forces Week, big, used to be SOFIC, down in Tampa. Most of the exhibits were around AI. About 1/5 of them were about AI. AI is quickly moving into almost every industry sector, so this next year, one of our task forces might also include AI.
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Mariano?
You know, I attended the industrial workshop. Commissioner Waitman, you were there as well, right? And what I liked on the discussion was talking about AI, which a realtor did not know of, that we had been doing for like 16, 17 months. Mm-hmm. So we had talked about setting one up, Bill, and I didn't know you had done the other 2. But as far as you're along, I would love for you to get with J.P. Murphy, get together, and let's go plan one where we can make it broad-based so everybody in the community knows what we're doing, promote it, hype it up, and make it a big event so they can understand how we've taken these steps to use AI for our own permitting process, which I think will help us even more so.
Yeah, I think it's important the public knows that the county's embracing AI for things like permitting and things that we can do to increase our speed and efficiency. So awesome. And then lastly, this is one of the coolest facts out there. We had 3 of our Smart Start businesses from our incubators actually move into brick and mortar. So that's the goal of what we do with our startups, is to not just get them up and going, but get them to the point that they're into market-based space in the community. And those include Lilly Education Center, ABL Brewery, and Mexican Craving. So if you get a chance, stop by, spend some money there, help them out with their lease payments, and congratulate them on how they've graduated into real space.
And what is Mexican Cravings? Do you remember?
It's a restaurant, yeah.
Oh, it's a restaurant?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, yeah. So our food incubator, of course, is in Dade City, has been turning out a lot of great, yummy stuff. I don't know how our staff manages to stay fit, to be honest with you. They're sampling everything. Lots of events through Smart Start. We continue to offer events. 742 participants already this year for Smart Start. So when people ask what you're doing for small business and startups, this is what we're doing. We're helping them grow. We're giving them microloans, 3 of them to date so far, $115,000. And we're providing counseling, 414 counseling sessions. That's not therapy, that's counseling them how to do better business and to help them not make mistakes. And with that, I'll stop so that we can hopefully get to the next item. But let me ask if you all have questions as well.
No question.
I'll just say a comment, Bill. Again, you guys do a phenomenal job. You've provided such great energy coming here. Having great people like Suzanne, the team you've developed has been amazing. And I appreciate your helping out with the Scholar Fest. We had 2 of the restaurants from there presenting and get a chance to get their name out in the community, which is great.
Thank you, Bill, for your presentation. Very informative, and we're moving forward. We keep moving forward, so.
Yes, indeed.
So,
that's great.
Were you at Select USA?
Our team was, Turner was. And
so I'm a little curious, and I was put back on the International Economic Development Task Force at NACO as vice chair again. But our focus this last year, and you've come on some of our national calls, was to help commissioners from counties around the country learn how to attend and make Select USA profitable for them. So we had quite a few new county commissioners go there and actually make some deals they would each brought some staff. They didn't have booths, but there were some deals made out there, but someone was standing by the restroom. I don't know. But I wondered if they came by our booth, because I asked them to come by our booth and say hi.
Well, we can check the attendance because we captured all the names. So I wouldn't be surprised. We were very visible right next to the Florida booth, and Florida continued to send us business all day long as well. A lot of it because of the talent that we have too. So we've got a lot of people that are out training other communities on how to work better.
It's my goal to get to a Select USA. I haven't made it yet, but it's a bad time for me.
May next year.
All right.
May.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Let's move on to R51.
Yes.
All right.
David's going to be
David's ready.
Good morning, David Engel, Planning, Development, Economic Growth Director. Before the board today for consideration is an economic incentive agreement with confidential company BSD. I'm going to just overview the company and the project. Bill is going to introduce the name of the company and introduce you to some of the management and leadership here, and then we'll finish up for a recommended vote of approval. The company provides integrated software services, engineering products, and automated solutions for the building industry. So this is a good fit here for the company. The company has decided to consolidate facilities in Largo in the city of Tampa, moving 125 employees out of those cities to Pasco County with an additional 25 newly created jobs. The project will be situated on a 111-acre piece of land on Paul S. Buchanan Highway, just north of Chelsea Road, near the industrial area of the Zephyr Hills Airport, which the board has invested capital in there for industrial development in the past. I've attached a location map on your agenda memo so you can see where the company is situated. The project will generate approximately 480,000 square feet of total industrial space, and it will be a capital investment of $77.6 million. The average wage of the employees that the board will be requested to provide incentives is $71,286 a year. That's 125% more than the average wage here in Pasco this year. And the project will contribute $183 million a year to the gross county product. The incentives recommended by the Pasco Economic Development Council as follows. The total is $3,150,000. Not to exceed $75,000 to create 25 new jobs. The reason why we're not incentivizing all the jobs is that we don't poach from our regional partners, and we're just incentivizing for the new jobs coming to the company. There's an ad valorem equivalency grant, $2,975,000 paid out over 10 years. It's 50%, so the county will receive the same amount of money net to the general fund. And the employee training grant is not to exceed $100,000. So at that point, I want to give the microphone over to Bill. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And you all know I'd be remiss if I didn't say it's a great day in Pasco County, right? To have another announcement, especially at one of our ready sites, continues to say, hey, we're doing it right. This is the right stuff that we're creating in terms of product, but especially testament to our workforce. This particular company has been around since 1955, and they have over 5,600 employees throughout the world. They are a Berkshire Hathaway company traded on the New York Stock Exchange under BRKB since 2001. They've had a record of continuous growth and innovation. It's my pleasure to announce that MyTech is the newest company to come to Pasco County in a partnership with Pasco County Board of County Commissioners and the city of Zephyr Hills. This is another one of those projects that we work together with the city. You heard about the incentives that were offered from our county. The city earlier passed a similar incentive with 50% on their ad valorem. which is in the spirit of true partnership to work together. This closely resembles the Baduco project in that these are creating some very, very good jobs in the area where we desperately need it on the east side, as well as a 400,000 square foot building in Zephyr Hills. I'm extremely proud of the partnership that we've created, and to speak on behalf of the company, I've asked a couple of the individuals, Mr. Ryan Cook, who's in their North Carolina office, and Joe Siebert, who's in their Missouri office, to join us virtually to say a few words. They had planned to be here yesterday in person. Their flights were canceled, so thanks to the clerk and the team, they were able to get them wired to join us virtually. So Ryan or Joe, I'm not sure which one of you want to speak first. They're both on mute. There we go.
This is Brian. I can speak first. I'm not sure if there should be video as well.
No. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
have to get to it if you are able to see me. So first off, I would like to thank all of you, the county commissioners, and everybody in the room there for your consideration for this project and for your welcome to the area. We're excited about the opportunity of building this new site. It'll be our southeast center of excellence in Pasco County there. The site will, as mentioned previously, the site will bring together and expand our Largo, Florida, Tampa operations. We feel like this site was perfect for us. You know, some important factors right from the beginning were the direct access to rail, and then also the proximity to our workforce that is there in Largo and Tampa. We intend to retain as many of those people as possible. But during our first visit to that area, we quickly recognized, you know, the small town feel there in Zephyr Hills, family oriented. It seemed like a hardworking community, and we feel like that fits our culture perfectly. Throughout this process, we feel that feeling has just continued with our interactions, most notably with Tom Ryan and Billy Fug there in Zephyr Hills, and then their respective teams. I mean, everybody's just been more than willing to jump on and help us push this thing through the finish line. So yeah, overall, we're just really excited and thankful for your welcome and your consideration.
And also, I did want to make mention that Mayor Melanie Munson is here with us as well, too, from the city of Zephyr Hills. Again, in the spirit of partnership, but I'd like to offer her the opportunity to say a few words, too.
Welcome, Mayor.
Thank you. Appreciate you allowing me to take a couple minutes. As you know, we have worked to preserve the Chancey Road corridor as our manufacturing, and this is a great partnership. We've worked with Tom for a number of years on these ready sites, and this is a great testimony of how PEDC, the county, the city can all work together to bring these jobs and these companies into our community. So we want to thank you for your support, and we're excited to bring this company. We want to thank Ryan and his team for choosing us, and we know that, yes, we are the small town feel, and we will welcome them with open arms.
Nice.
Yeah. And you happen to be in District 1. just to bring that up.
Whose district?
We welcome them in District 1, I can tell you. So.
Was there someone else online that wanted to speak?
Ryan, did Joe want to say anything?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Great, thank you. I'm Joe Siebert, Director of Project Management, MindTech. Again, I echo what Ryan said. We considered a number of cities and counties within Florida for this new project, and we are happy to have picked the site here at Zephyr Hills in Pasco County. And again, we recognize the small town feel and the coalition with Tom Ryan and the city of Zephyr Hills. So, as Ryan said, we're excited and we are ready to hit the ground running and get things going.
Thank you, Joe. We're looking forward to it. We want you to be wildly successful and make lots of money and hire lots of people. And with that, I'll turn it back over to David so that you all can officially do something.
Thank you. The professional staff recommend this item for approval.
Thank you.
I'd love, oh, darn it, I was going to.
I've got a motion.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 5-0.
Thank you very
Welcome to
much.
Pasco County.
Thank you.
Okay.
Very good. Exciting.
That's all of our regular items for the day. At this point, we'll move on to miscellaneous business. Commissioner Waitman. Oh, excuse me.
Would you like a group shot to send in?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, we will. Come forward and we'll come down and get a picture.
Yep. We could Photoshop them in if we need. With AI.
Good guy. I can think of better things. Okay, we will now go to, that's all of our regular items. We'll move on to miscellaneous business. Commissioner Waitman, you're up front.
All right, thank you, Chair. A few things that, July 9th, I don't think we have any pictures, do we? July 9th, Advent Health broke ground on a new ER on 54, like the one at 54 Veterans.
So many of them.
But another one popping up, we have coming on 54 in Wiregrass. So congratulations to Advent. Advent's got quite a few groundbreakings they're doing here in Wesley Chapel. We just celebrated the new family medicine residency practice. Commissioner Yeager was there, Commissioner Mariano joined in, and where they're recruiting physicians to come and work and stay with the organization, and soon be cutting ribbon on going the expansion of the main section of the hospital. That'll be coming up soon. I hope everybody received an invitation. We're adding another floor to the middle section. So Advent Health is growing in Wesley Chapel. I'm excited for them. Chair Oakley and I visited Saddlebrook for a lunch and learn and to see how everything was progressing going on with the new management at Saddlebrook. And we learned that Saddlebrook is now the pickleball headquarters for the United States. So we have, yep. So the pickleball organization moved their outfit to Saddlebrook, and they're right here in our backyard. And July 24th, Tampa Premium Outlets and the Simon Group donated a substation for the Pasco County Sheriff's Office, and for no rent, they've added a room to the back and money for a bloodhound named Simon, of course. And so thank you to Tampa Premium Outlets and Chris Durant and everybody there for their donation to Pasco County. So a lot of good stuff. And lastly, I want to thank Branford and his team, Branford and Jason and Barrett and Larry Alcade, Fig, everybody knows Fig, Robert Pope, Trevor Williams, Chad Rubens, and Matt McPherson for helping out with flooding issues and working through the challenges in Lexington Oaks. You know, storm events are stressful, and we just can't thank everybody enough through, you know, leaving your families and working through the storm at all levels. So thank you, everybody, and that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thanks, sir. Ms. Starkey?
Well, somewhere in here I have a picture, but I was, oh, yeah, there it is.
How about that one?
I was happy to, of course, attend the NACO conference in Tampa, and Mike Carbala came and attended my
I heard your session went very well.
Yes, those are, it was very interesting. It was, the lady next to me is like the #2 person at NASA, at the Kennedy Space Center, and female engineer. It's always fun to see someone achieve success at that level. And the gentleman next to her is the head of, I don't remember quite his title, but he's with Lockheed Martin. And we talked about workforce and manufacturing, and I think we had a really good session. At the end there, you can see Tom Madano was there speaking about AMP skills for workforce development, and we had a packed room, so it was a good conference. It was great to showcase our city. The weather held out really well, and a little hot, but I think everyone had a really great time. Sonia, I just sent you some pictures. Okay, so this is Wavy Edge from the storm. As you guys know, this is our trouble spot in the Trinity, Thousand Oaks area. Got a little nervous. I was down there yesterday, and the residents were getting in touch with me. Got within 8 feet of that one house that backs up to that pond on Little Road where we had those pumps are there again. But Jason's here. Jason and I were communicating, and they were able to open the gate out there. Commissioner Mariano, if you remember all the BMPs, BMP 1, because it was closed. And we're going to talk about this after, but for some reason during the heavy rain event, it was thought that we needed to close it, not open it, which runs backwards from what I remember with all our task force
We
meetings.
changed that years ago, because it was set up that way, but we said that doesn't make any sense, we haven't changed it, so.
Yeah, so they did open it yesterday, and if you see the next picture, then you'll see, I just got this morning, it went down. Oh, you didn't get it? Okay, so that water's mostly gone, so thank you so much, Jason. These folks were having heart attacks last night, but especially that house that's over there on the right, they get water in it all the time, but they escaped having water in their house.
Ms. Starkey, just a question. Have we looked into putting a drain in there where they drain that out and it would stay?
This is where we have the pumps on either side of Little Road by Generations Church, and right next to this pond. I didn't take a picture of it on Little Road, and we have buried a line. And I was asking for the pumps to have little pump houses on it instead of leaving 2 pumps permanently sitting on the side of the road. That we actually had taken the pumps away, which they said a couple meetings ago, but we brought them back. It's a very challenging area. The whole community is built 15 inches too low. It's a long story.
I remember that.
Yeah, but we haven't had water in the cul-de-sac in over 5 years, so this is the first time I've seen it come back. I think they did draw down the water ahead of time. I'd love to know how much. You know, I want to meet with our staff just to go over what we did here and make sure that we're on top of it so we don't get this again. It was starting to come up in other areas in the community as well. And they've just had so much trauma here that they had a lot of anxiety. Two of these houses actually have their own pumps going, and they're pumping from their backyards into the cul-de-sac to keep their houses from going underwater. The one on the left, and then that white house over there had their own pump going as well. So just a trouble. Oh, you can see the pump. He didn't use it, but you see on the right-hand side there, the little blue line, that's his pump. But they try very hard to keep the water out of their houses, so, with their own funds. Then I had my husband and I traveled to Scotland and to the Azores. And do you have those pictures? No? Why not? Okay, come back to me. I gotta resend them. And yeah, I'll come back to those pictures. It
This
says here that I
delay's
sent
working
them.
on your time, so.
Okay, I'll try again. So, there's that one. Got that one. That one. I know, it says they went to you. We have time. I'll let them come back to me. I'm gonna resend them. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Okay.
I don't know
Commissioner
why I didn't
Yeager?
go out.
Can
We'll
you
come
pull-
back to her.
Thank you.
Oh, no, I sent the
Okay,
sign
so,
out.
I attended
Okay,
two
June
Habitat for
14th, that's
Humanity
right.
home dedications. The first dedication, I had the honor of handing over the keys to the home, to the IAF family. These dedications are so amazing, and all the sweat equity hours these people put into their homes, and just how grateful they are for the program and to own their own home. I attended the emergency service recognition ceremony. That's the next slide. Oh, okay, that one's the Batten family, sorry. Okay, there's the emergency services. It was nice to recognize and hear all the stories at who handled the high priority calls, the Lifesaver Award, the Stork Award, and the 10-year awards. These people just make a huge difference in our community. So I'm very thankful to all of them, and that was great to go to. So our next slide, this is an issue with county stormwater retention maintenance and large trees. First, I'd like to thank Barrett Doe from Public Works and Mike Woodward, who is our arborist, for joining me on this site visit to address a couple of concerns from our constituent. First, there's a piece of county property, stormwater retention, that is not being properly maintained behind his home. The county is having a hard time getting back the property with the large machinery to maintain the property. Progress is being made. I believe they currently have 2 of the 3 easements required to get the larger equipment back to the site. There is also a large, beautiful tree in the back, that big, huge tree. It's on county property. So right now we're kind of in a dilemma. We're gonna trim some of the trees back just to secure his home. Our 5th slide is, this was an accessibility on Trouble Creek and Grand. Again, I'd like to thank Barrett for joining us on another site visit. The visit was concerning an individual who lost his ability to drive due to sight and relies on his scooter for mobility. There are no sidewalks on MacArthur and Antoinette Street, which makes him go south to Trouble Creek and east to Grand. He feels crossing at Grand and Trouble Creek is dangerous. He is also asking for additional sidewalk on the west side of Grand. We're in the process of navigating this, but this poor gentleman it takes him like 10 minutes just to make one turn. And I'd like to give a shout out to JP Murphy, who helped me address some concerns yesterday and get some people uploaded in the portal. And one of them was a fire chief from Plant City. I don't have a picture to send that I uploaded, but his whole neighborhood was underwater. And there was a transformer issue, so just thank you for him and his team and their quick response.
That's it. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Mariano?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think I got some pictures coming up too. Okay. I want to say, when the storm was, we declared the state of emergency by the governor, then us. I want to say staff did it the right way. I want to say that getting together with the team all on that Palm Terrace area where it had been flooded out for several times before, we were able to get with Swift Mud. There's a right in here. So we got able to get with Swift Mud on the line. We had DEP on the line. And we tried to look at the 2 ponds on the left where the 2 stars are to try to get some access to water going there. Those ponds are sitting dry now as we decommission the site. We couldn't get approval with DEP to allow that to happen, but we did get the approval with Swift Mud to go take this whole spray field area here and start taking out some dirt. From the 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we talked about it. From the time official declaration from the county, they had, I think I would say 25 trucks lined up. They had 2 backhoes ready to go, putting a plan in place to go. They took out probably over 600 truckloads of dirt before 2 days were up. So when the storm hit, it could take that capacity. Now if the pictures show, which I'll show you later on, where that red line is, was all backed up. So there it was from, yeah, stay right here first, thanks. So this whole area here, from where you see the red line on the spray field, all the way up to where it says Arbordale Drive, that whole area there was like underwater, all the way down to the corner. From the corner went all the way up past the second star up the street a little bit. By taking the action from the declaration, which we did something similar with Hurricane Michael 7, 8 years ago, with governor's approval to the state of emergency, by digging that out, it saved all those people from flooding out. And we're not even done yet. So I think on most major events, as we finish that off, that is going to be a tremendous project. It's going to work to keep those people dry, and after years of just suffering all the way through. The pictures you'll show just kind of show from before and afters. There's like the same streets now dry after the storms. That was pictures from before the previous storm. You can see on the far left, that's all the way up. The retention we dug before, which was great, wasn't enough to take the storm. It shows you the next picture, kind of the middle one doesn't show you too much, but now the digging that went on the far right side and the other side, it kind of shows you the right side was done first, it was dry. That's the picture afterward on the left side where the storm came in. So all that water went in there, and it's still being held as of yesterday afternoon, but at least it didn't get on the street. Keep on going if you could. And this is yesterday. I was like, it was funny, like the night before I sent Commissioner a picture of Oakley of him and I in 2016 out working on stormwater stuff. I sent him the picture, and I was actually went through the areas, which I'll show some other pictures, and I thought I was pretty well done in the area other than the green carrier area, which I know they were working on. And I was going to head over to your side to try to take a look as far as what was going on out there. Right. Because I was watching the bands that were heavy on the east side, but we were like escaping pretty much. Yeah. So instead I got a text message from a friend who's on Olsner, and she was like, house is underwater. Steve Lucart, former school board member, principal, he was underwater in the yards, a little bit in one of the houses. So I went down there to take a look, and there was like a new pipe they had put in that was kind of like it was silted in, blocked out, so we kind of dug that out a little bit. The water started flowing, and then I called Jason up and Barrett up and said, hey, I'm going to get a crew down there to go take a look at this thing. So they came down. After we opened up just a little bit of a flume going, they come down here with a little truck, which I'll show you in a second, and they cleaned that thing out. The water started flushing. Within probably 2 hours, it dropped down 6 inches from that whole yard area and was heading out toward the Gulf. Look at the guy on the far right side. This is what our stormwater team does. I didn't get his name because once he was done, he was like out of there. But I'm telling you, the whole team's in there. He's in there checking a train going through, making sure it got clear out. So he's got to go put waders up to here, going through there, going in there. Who knows what's in that water? And that guy's going to make it happen. And I'll tell you, I'm going to give a shout out for Larry Elkate, who's new with us. That same area right in there, Larry's like trying to find, because water didn't like it was flowing from the other side. Larry gets down in his regular shirt, reaches down under to figure out if there's water flowing or not. And that led them to go say, we need to definitely clear this out, and they cleared out 3 more pipes. We're waiting for the city of Newport Richey now to go finish it out, but I want to tell you, that team, I'm going to mention Bradford, Jason, Joseph, Barrett, as well as Larry, Tim, and Jay, and their whole team members out there were just on the spot looking and finding solutions and made some great things happen to get that water to flow. And another street happened above. So we're still working in that area, but more to go.
I remember back in 16 walking through a lot of water puddles. I mean, we were almost knee high.
Oh yeah.
Walking in that water over there with you that time.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna. What I show you these next pictures? The project at Gulf Highlands that we just got done. I'll show you these here. I think coming up next.
So it's not still that way, is it?
Oh, I'm gonna. No, I'm telling you, it's. I'd say what we're doing out there. We're not done yet, but what
I know we're not done.
Yeah, what we have accomplished has been phenomenal. If you could go the slides. So that's Timber Oaks. That used to flood all the time.
Oh, yeah.
There's a nice little memorial there, but that whole thing, all the water's being held right in. And instead of that area always going underwater, we used to, when I first started, the stormwater team they had there to work with us, and what they've done there, what we did with that project there, working fantastic. Go to the next one. That there's an old picture from way back when, as far as when we were working out down the street. That's actually, oh, that's Steve Lucart's post. Okay, I got the next picture. So here's a code issue coming up that we're gonna deal with, and I've already sent this to the staff. But see that tree that's leaning right there? That could fall on the guy's house right beside it. The root ball is up. So we had actually helped out a lady from Beacon Woods when we had a similar situation, so I've reached out to Marcy and the team to find his way to get the grant. There's a trailer on the far right side of that picture, and then on the far left side, there's that house picture that's about abandoned house. There's another house beside it that have homeless living in it. On the back trailer on the far right picture, there's all sorts of rats that are in there. So we're gonna go take a look at that for health reasons as well. And the team is working on it right now. Go ahead, next picture. Scholar Fest was, because of the storm, we canceled it Friday. But it actually turned out really well because with the Scholar Fest, and thank you, Commissioners, for sponsoring and supporting Sunwest, because having that extra parking lot was great. Everything's been going great out there. The food people were actually Chef Trey and Chef Arlette. They were both phenomenal. The scallop dishes were like immaculate. So we still got one more weekend to go.
Yep,
We'll
I'll
see
be
how
out
the
there.
weather goes. Yeah, we'll see how the weather goes. We could have Beach Boys on, I think, on Saturday, and then Embry Brothers to close it out with a gigantic fireworks show. Because everything they didn't do Saturday, they're gonna put into the show on Sunday.
Okay.
I mean, the Friday is gonna come,
I've heard
last Saturday.
it's a lot of fun.
It's really good. I tell you, the bands, Chasing Talent has done a phenomenal job picking the right people. So it's been well received. Everybody's bit to see it. Go to the next picture. There's just a picture of some of the people out there having a good time. So the Scholar Fest, so we didn't have, when we canceled the Saturday event, we had already ordered the food because we knew Friday was going to be iffy. We thought Saturday was perfect. So we kind of like shifted a little bit of food for Friday to have enough. And then Saturday we had to cancel it because the way the weather was changing.
Right.
So in doing that, so no scallops, and I called up First Advent Health to see if they wanted to have the scallops. I could bring them over to them, whatever. And they said, no, we can't do it because of dietary things. So I called HCA up to see if they wanted the scallops. We'd bring them over to them. So Sally Seymour, the CEO there, was just so phenomenal to work with, and everything I've done with her, how she's taken care of my family, et cetera. So I call her up and I tell her about it. She goes, you know, I'd like to do an employee appreciation thing. So she bought the scallops, so we don't even lose any money. Bought the scallops to take care of her staff. So go ahead and show the picture. So there's all the people there that she fed that day. And there's the chef on the top right there. But all those people are so happy. Talk about morale building, and it just felt so good for so many ways to know this hospital is taking care of its people, showing appreciation, which we were trying to do as well with the Scholar Fest, as well as our first responders. But for her to take that extra step in a situation, and I would have just given them to her just because I didn't want to see them go to waste. But no, she wanted to make sure we took care of the steps to recovery, our own park scholarship program, and the Sertoma, that they stepped in and took care of the whole thing. And we stayed there, served them, probably like an hour and a half, we had it all cleared out, and everybody was thrilled.
You know, it's cheaper to buy scallops at Publix rather than
They don't taste
spend
the
the
same.
gas money and the boat and all
They
that
don't
activity
taste
you do.
But it's more.
Costs a lot more money, but that is more fun
this
than
is-
just going to Publix and buying your scallops.
That's right.
But if you want them to eat,
Yeah.
you know.
So is that the last picture of that one? A little bit more. There they are, the different dishes. Okay, so I'll get to Toastmasters in a second, but I just want to say, with the scallop season, we are working with Fish and Wildlife to make sure. There was a big collection of a dangerous chemical in the shellfish.
Right, yeah.
At Anclote. We're going to do more testing. We may know in another week or so. They said they'd be flexible as extending the season out, but right now we're still at a standstill for right now as we test.
Be a little careful about opening season back up after you've had that, so.
Yeah, and we want to be careful. And like I said, it was a concentrated area, and we think it was because the dredging was down the Anclote River that pushed a lot of bloom out higher than normal. But I still think that to the northern part of the test come out that we should at least do the northern part of the county, but we'll wait to see how it goes. So I just want to say Sonia Walling, my aide, has been taking part of Toastmasters. I don't know if you guys have ever gone to this, but really cool what they do as far as their speeches they give, and they grade the grueling part of this whole thing was like pretty cool. Like they grade you on every type of thing: delivery, content, not repeating yourself, not saying or anything else. All that stuff. These guys were doing great. And I'm sitting down watching, and they asked me if I wanted to do it. I said I'm going to watch a little bit more. And then when I watched them later on, it didn't work out where I got to speak. But it was so fun to watch them. I got went to them later. I says, and I'm glad I didn't speak. Yeah. But really cool that goes on right here, and I think it's great skills developing with our team that they go do this. Phenomenal. But great to see what they're doing. And what else do we have? Okay. That's it. Okay. So I got one thing. Did you have those pictures from Gulf Highlands? So let me say this: with Gulf Highlands, you've seen them like flat out with the project we had. All right.
I sent it to Gina. I was sending it to the wrong person. Huh? Okay.
So I just want you to hear, I wish I could show you the pictures, but literally Gulf Highlands and Gray Birch, we had a area which just has flooded for years and years between maybe sinkhole fills and just bottom of basin where they always flood out and nowhere to go. We started pumping up to a high area where we owned land and it was dry as can be. What we did was a major project. We gravity fed from both ponds, from one to the other, to the giant pond, and it goes in there, and that pond was probably less than, I'll say the whole base was almost full, but it didn't go up that high, so it was like plenty of capacity. That job was so good. Every street, now that they just finished the second pavement, dry as a bone. Every single street that would normally be underwater. So I'm going to tell you, Jason, Branford, your whole team, what you guys have done executing has been absolutely phenomenal. That's great. So these people don't suffer like they used to. So I want to say that. One last thing I have, Fairway Oaks. They were part of the estates, the Lynx Golf Course part. Took a look with them as far as what they needed to get done. They want to go clean out all the dead trees and debris that's out there. They want to do it later on in the fall. They were going to do it in August. I says, I think you're better off waiting while it's not as hot, see if people can make it. So they're going to delay it a little bit. John Batista put an estimate between $2,000 and $2,400 to take all the tipping fees off it. And I say I bring that to the board to see if we can waive those fees for them. I could keep part of my cleanup budget or whatever. I'm trying to do it low budget, but if we could, if I could make, I'm going to make a motion that we take the Fairways fees up to $2,400, get waived on their cleanup coming up.
You can't waive them,
I
but
can
you
reimburse
can,
them.
you can reimburse them from the general fund.
So
That's a motion?
that's a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed 5-0.
All right, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. Ms. Starkey, you got your final?
Got some pictures to go through real fast. Just so you know, I'm very big about cycling and trails, so I wanted to show you the trails that my husband and I rented bikes in Scotland, and we cycled, whatever, from Edinburgh to Glasgow, 5.5 hours. Me and hundreds of other people, because that trail was full of people. It was gorgeous.
How wide's that trail?
We're actually going along a canal that they dug in the 1700s. You can see the canal boat on the left. It used to be for commerce, but now they've redug these canals, and there are a lot of tourism boats and private boats that go up and down these canals all around Europe, actually. There's a couple more pictures in this, right? This is where I got my cough, though, because it rained on me in the last hour. Mm-hmm. This is us going over a, what do you call this? What do you call it where the water's up high?
Flooding?
No, well, there's a lock on here, but no, it's an aqueduct. It's an aqueduct. I think it's the second longest aqueduct in Europe. But you had to walk it. It was too bumpy to ride. But sadly, when I filmed it, it turned out I was filming my hand in my jacket and not the scenery on the other side, so you can't really see how high and how cool that was. Next picture. That's more of the trails with the beautiful flowers all over. There's restaurants all along the way. We stopped, and pubs. We stopped and had lunch. I didn't put that picture here. Next picture. That's the aqueduct that we went across. And then this is, we did the same thing in the Azores. We rented bikes and a guide, and we did this bike ride around a caldera, because the Azores are very volcanic. More pictures. That's just heading up to that's where we biked to, up to that rim. That was not fun, I almost quit. That's kind of the view when we were up top. And the last picture, oh, that's the view from up top, so it was beautiful. But they are building their cycle tourism as fast as they can in the Azores. And next picture is, this is the reason why I was in the Azores. This is Miss Barbara Wilhite, who is now Mrs. Peter de Sousa. That's Barbara coming down out of City Hall there in her wedding dress. So we'll congratulate her the next time we see her, but she's still there, enjoying her new wedded bliss. So, okay, the next pictures are, this is a piece of land that's on US 19. It is the old Helen Ellis walk-in site. It has kind of been abandoned by the property owner. He didn't pay taxes on it for 3 years. And someone has now bought up the tax receipts. But here's my problem. We cannot serve this guy. It's an LLC in Texas to get in there and clean it up. And if you could see what it looked like. I have some older pictures. We are getting so many complaints in my office. I have some older pictures from over a month ago. If you could cycle, did you? Yeah. But it's so much worse now. They're building like houses on there. It's just like this whole village of garbage, debris, and people living there. And it just blows my mind. This is right on 19 as you come into the county, that we can't do anything. And so
South 19 or North 19? Because
we don't have a trespass agreement with the landowner who's gone AWOL, we're going to be able to, I guess we're going to try and cite the people that are living on there. Now the county has cleaned this site up once and we've liened the property, but I don't know legislatively, Jeff, is it too big, is it a constitutional issue that we can't do something when someone is trashing property like this and living, no water, no sewer, no electricity? Cannot the health department shut it down? I mean, do we have no tools to clean this up? It's been months that I've been dealing with this.
I'll have to get with Sam and Jessica. It would seem to me that there's a health code issue that could be pursued.
My latest comment from Jessica is we cannot enter private property to clean the junk and debris without either a court order allowing us to do so or permission from the property owner.
Okay.
And we can't find the property owner?
No. Property owner has abandoned the property, hasn't paid the taxes, not responding to anything. We could fly someone out to Texas and maybe try and find him at his office, but it just seems that counties need more tools in the toolbox to deal with problems like this.
Okay.
We should be able to get a, unless they're clearly, the person is clearly not anywhere where they can be found. But there are ways to find people. So
okay, I
will get with my team and see.
All right. I mean, and like I said, this is not. These are not representative of how bad it is right now on 19. Thank you. Did I have another picture? Oh, no, but I had a note to staff. I drove down Little Road yesterday when I was driving to look at Thousand Oaks and all of that. And I also drove out to Oak Ridge and looked at the outfall there. Little Road is at 54 north of it. It is just one big pothole after another. I don't know what happened, but like that section by the Walmart, it's World War III in that area. So is that our road or is that DOT's road? I feel like it's our road. Yeah, so we're gonna need some kind of big repairs out there. It's really just falling apart right out there at that intersection. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Brightmock, do you have anything in your duties today?
Yes, sir. First, I'd like to thank the board for its tolerance and patience in dealing with a pinch hitter today as county administrator. However, I did want to highlight some of the bullet points from Hurricane Debbie's response. I know many of you have talked about the good work Public Works has done. It also was a big team effort from emergency management, 911, fire rescue, PSO. Those are the heavy entities involved in this one. So I want to say thank you to those elements of the organization for their response and dedication over the weekend. All of that being said, we got about 6 to 10 inches of rain across the county. peak winds were in the upper 40s. We wound up sheltering 22 people at the hurricane shelter during the event. That's been closed now. However, and we rescinded the voluntary evacuation order. However, even though the EOC is back to level 3 in monitoring, we are still keeping an eye on the Anclote River. It's projected to crest tomorrow or the day after. And then we're still working some of the areas that Commissioner Yeager, Commissioner Mariano mentioned. We got a call this morning about Dade City's wastewater treatment plant that we're working to assist. So the team's still actively engaged. I just want to thank them very much for all the work they've done and continue to do.
Sure. All right, thank you. County Attorney? Uh-oh, he's got something today.
Yeah, I do. I have two litigation matters that need a litigation assessment meeting. I am hoping to do it at your next board meeting in August. We contacted your assistants, and it looks like 9 a.m. is the best time on your calendars. I think I can do them both together as one project, or not one project, but one litigation assessment meeting. The cases are Embassy Center LLC versus Pasco County, Florida, and Coastline Boat Lift Covers Nature Coast LLC and Jeremy Gamble individually and Rebecca Gamble individually versus Pasco County. Both of these involve land development code issues and litigating various provisions of our land development code, and I am going to seek advice as to how to proceed on those cases.
Both of them, okay. Need a motion or anything for that meeting?
No, we've asked that your assistants log that time.
Okay.
I tend to, unless there's an objection, we will schedule a court reporter for that.
Okay.
For that
Sounds
time
good.
period.
All right.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right, thank you. Mr. Clerk?
Nothing from the clerk at this time.
Okay, I appreciate it. Goes to me, and I've got all kinds of stuff. I've been to Alaska, I've been to, I almost hate to say it, I've been to Washington, D.C. So.
Oh, is that up? Is that out there?
Okay, so we'll start with these pictures. How about that? So these are what I've been waiting on 2.5, 3 years and been working at along with the Fallen Officer Foundation is the delivery of our angel uplifting a fallen officer. It arrived on July 18th, as it tell you there. So you can see how we were lifting it. You'll see more pictures. They were on top, so on top of the stance. It's there now, it's covered.
Oh.
We're going to have a dedication ceremony for this on 9/11. And I haven't determined the exact time yet, but it'll either be somewhere between 9 and 10 o'clock on 9/11 here for the dedication of this fallen officer memorial. So it's been a long time coming. I think the Fallen Officer Board has been working on this for somewhat like 9 years before I got started working on it, and I've been working on it 2.5 years. Uh-oh. So there, she's flying in on top. It's pretty amazing when you look up close. There's so much detail on this memorial. It's just really amazing how much detail the artist had. And I looked at the artist was here, of course, because he's always, nobody sets his statues. He does it. He comes and does it himself, and then he puts the final coat on the statue. But I got to looking at the angel. Of course, I made a joke that why wouldn't it a man angel instead of a woman? And everybody says everybody wants to be cuddled by their mother. So I got my answer pretty quick from that. So, but in looking at the face on the angel and the artist had his wife and daughter here, I can tell you their face, that daughter and that wife, that look very much alike, different ages, of course, but they're very much alike. They're the face on that angel.
Oh,
So, very nice, and very nice, work in getting there. So happy and proud that that is actually here. So it's one of those good things. And I got involved in it 2.5, 3 years ago. I'll just give you a brief story. Randy Blankenship and myself were headed down to Sheriff Grady Judge's office in Lakeland. And of course, we walked through his memorial for his fallen officer memorial for his deputies and officers there in Polk County. So we went in. Our reason for being there is some folks that were running a little league down in Mulberry had stole over $9,000 from the little league, the person running it, from this little league group, this community. So Randy had saw it on one of Grady's shows, I guess, about what had happened, and he called me. He says, this happened down there. This is terrible. And so he said, I want to give that money back. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, if you let me be a part of it, I said, I'll go along half with you. So we gave them a check, $5,000 each, nice. Randy and myself, made $10,000. So we went down to Grady's office just to present those checks. And that was for a Little League organization down in Mulberry. And so they got that, but they also had insurance and got their money back through their insurance. They covered their monies. But for a person to steal from a Little League organization is pretty low. So
yeah.
But Randy and I want to make sure that that wasn't going to stop them from being able to help kids in that area. So when we left, we walked through the fallen officer memorial and we see the statue of a man, a deputy, and a dog. And of course, that's the one that Grady Judd made the statement on national TV that why did they shoot him 101 times or something of that nature? And he says, I guess they ran out of bullets.
Yeah, I love that.
Like they needed more, I guess. But the fact of it is, that gentleman they were shooting actually was armed. All they could see was his legs under a big tree limb where he was hidden in there, and they just took him out because he was armed. He could kill another deputy, but he killed a deputy and his canine on that. And those statues are there at that memorial in Polk County. And he from the same artist, he got another, he has 5 fallen officers, life-size statues in his memorial for Polk County there. And they received that the day before we received the angel here. So, and we've never had the fallen officer memorial, but we've been working on it for, I guess, a total of about 12 years, and probably have wished and wanted it sooner than that. So, but Randy and I got involved when we saw that, and I started asking questions because the board had already seen a presentation of what we were getting, but it just never seemed to happen. The years kept going by. So I reached out to them, and they needed some money, and they said because of COVID, their money had dried up, and they were not able to raise enough money to finish the project. And I said, well, how much money do you need? And they said, oh, probably 60,000 or something of that nature. And I said, I tell you what, you think about that number, but tomorrow you come back to me with the right number, a good number, so you're sure that that will take care of it. So he came back the next day and he said he needed $100,000. And so Randy and I reached out to friends of ours throughout the county that cared for the citizens of Pasco in this memorial, just as we did, and asked them to give us $5,000 as individuals, not as county commissioner, as individuals. So I have some people that didn't give. It's okay. It's their choice. And but the fact of it is, we got that $100,000 in a week and a half, that the money that was going to this organization, they couldn't raise anymore because it dried up. But it didn't dry up for people that care about Pasco County and what we do here and what they want it to be a premier county just as well as we do. And there are different business owners throughout the county that are part of this project. So it's so thankful for all that they do. I mean, many people stepped up and gave toward this memorial. It might have been in work or materials were paid for, but a lot of it was free. The work actually put in was free. It was given to the county for this memorial. So there's a lot of people that had a lot to do and touch this memorial. But I've been going nuts for 2.5 years, 3 years to see that this statue arrived, and it just took forever. Grady Judd told me, he says, the company you've chosen for this statue is the best company and best artist that you could pick to do this memorial. And the fact of it is, they're also the slowest to get it done. I said, well, that part I believe. And after seeing it, he was very much right in the fact. And you will say the same thing once you see it placed there. And for the many events happening in this county in the future toward this fallen officer memorial, this represents a lot of heartfelt thoughts throughout our citizens and our county. So we got to be very grateful and thankful for all the citizens and all that we try to get done. Sometimes it doesn't work out right, but a lot of times it does. And this is one that took a long time to get here, but we're going to be here. And not on 9/11, it couldn't be a better time to dedicate that here at this courthouse. So look forward to, we'll have that message going out very soon.
Commissioner Oakley?
Yes, sir.
I want to commend you for seeing this thing through, putting your heart and soul into it, reaching out to your friends to make this happen, because it is going to be a great tribute for many years to come. So thank you for your service helping out.
Thank you, but I didn't do it for that. I did it for my citizens in Pasco County and all of us. We all want this happening. If I'd have brought it to a group vote here at this dais, we'd all voted yes. So we're all part of it, not just one person.
No, but it takes a spearhead.
There's not an I in team, and I'm so proud of our team and all they do throughout. And every time we get a chance to do the right thing, it comes to the forefront and we do the right thing. So, another thing I wanted to reach out to, and I did, or personally, I called Andy Fossa and I called Andrew Baxter and thanked them and their staff and other members, probably even Eric or even Mike Kabbalah, and what they did to Dade City thanked me the other day for the quickness of getting 2 pumps here in Dade City. And the fact of it was the pumps, you can't beat timing. Timing's everything. The pumps actually came from the state at the very time they were asking for the 2 pumps. And so we diverted their destination to Dade City rather than maybe the other side of the county. Those 2 pumps came in in a timely manner, but Chief of Police and the city of Dade City are very thankful for the awareness and the timing that we were able to get those to them. And you can't beat timing. You don't make that kind of timing up, because it took me 3 years. I would have had this done 3 years ago if I could make up that kind of timing. But sometimes timing just works right. So a lot of times it doesn't, because I've got issues about flooding and other things that need to help some people, and the timing's just not right. I know what the solution is, but sometimes you can't get to construction, some of that moving quick enough for our citizens to help them in some flood issues. So now let's see what else I had. I attended with the Boys and Girls Club up with Weldon Simpson and Pasco County Sheriff's Office to deliver backpacks and school supplies to the children on Friday, July 19th. And that went very well. A lot of kids there, a lot of backpacks. it's really great to see when these kids come through line and receive a backpack. Here's, we were sitting there. But Will and I went up and visited with them, so really a lot of good people in the county, a lot of good things that they're doing. So, okay, then the next. When I had the opportunity with, also I think with Commissioner Waitman, we toured Saddlebrook and got to see some of the new models and parts of the building. That was on July 23rd. And I think I've lost any papers. I think it's the last item I had. But we were able to do this, and it really, Saddlebrook's coming on further, because you remember they were talking about, we don't know how many people that are private owners that are going to okay the remodel of all these different housing or the apartments. Most all of them have stepped forward to remodel. So the project's really going well. We spent a lot of time on getting this right. I know Jack spent time out there, we all did, working on that, but it's really coming to fruition. It's going to be something very, very nice out there at Saddlebrook. So what we want in our county. And Saddlebrook's been around a long time. I helped build the golf course originally with the reference when they were out there. So I had bulldozers we had to sign there. I had to check on every day. So we dug out some of the, around the holes and pushed the dirt around so to make that golf course. But I'm not a designer. We just had the equipment. So I wouldn't claim to do any of that. So
It's not the Palmer course anymore, Commissioner Mariano, it's the Oakley.
the Oakley course. Well, it kind of
The Ron Oakley stretch.
No, I don't take claim to designing that golf course. So I can't hardly play it. I leave that up to David Engel. He can play it better than I can.
No pressure, David.
Okay, with that, so you'll know, I plan on our regular board meeting to be done around 3 o'clock today, hopefully sooner. So it's not going to be a long day. We got items to cover, but it seems to me like we can cover them and we'll have ample time to do so the right way. So if you're not prepared, please be prepared when you come back at 1:30, and we'll take a break at this time for lunch. Thank you.
Wildlife depend on you to keep them healthy. Excess fertilizer, grass clippings, trash, oils, and pet waste wash into gutters and storm drains when it rains. Stormwater carries these pollutants directly into our lakes and rivers, creating an unhealthy environment for fish, waterfowl, and other aquatic animals. Storm drains are meant for clean rainwater. Most other discharges are illegal. If you suspect an illicit discharge, please contact Pasco County Department of Public Works at 727-834-3611.
If you qualify as a special needs client, your emergency Go Kit should include everything you need to maintain your care regimen and optimal health. This includes all your medications. Once a disaster is declared, Floridians may obtain an extra prescription refill even if you have recently filled it. That's important since you should bring 10 days of medications to the shelter. Ideally, bring the original pill bottle since it has your name, the prescription number, the medication name and dosage, as well as the names of both the pharmacy and your physician. If you need special food or medical supplies, bring those with you. Have enough oxygen to get you to and from the shelter safely, and don't forget, bring your concentrator or nebulizer. While packing, grab your glasses, hearing aid, and batteries, wound care supplies, prosthetics, walker or wheelchair, along with a pair of socks and closed-toe shoes. It's very important to carry copies of contact information with you as well. Include the names and numbers of family members, doctors, your pharmacy, home health provider, and your oxygen supplier. Bring your insurance card, your photo ID, and a copy of your care plan. If you have a Do Not Resuscitate form, pack the yellow original form. The most important thing you can bring is your caregiver. A cot will be assigned to you, so ensure the person taking care of you brings their own small air mattress. Bring supplies for your service animal if you have one, and watch our Pet Inclusive Kit video so you know what to pack for them. Planning and preparing ahead of time can help lower your stress level and will keep you organized. That allows you to remain healthy during an emergency. There is no bedside nursing care at the shelter, but there will be assistance available. Planning on your part ensures a smoother stay, so pack that special needs go kit now. If you have any questions, call the Pasco County Emergency Management staff by dialing 727-847-8137.
Pasco County continues to prove it's a perfect place to start, move, or grow a business. The county is the heart of one of the fastest growing areas in Greater Tampa Bay. It offers the right mix of open spaces and vibrant places close to modern, flourishing communities, nationally recognized beaches and easy access to major interstates, international airports, rail lines, and deep seaports. Pasco is the place to go for a streamlined regulatory process, which provides entrepreneurs with the tools necessary to start, nurture, and support growth of businesses of every size.
In today's world, many of our youth and young adults have no clue what they want to do in life. We're helping them to change